Last night I was able to watch the new Scary Movie. So today I am going to stop and rank all six Scary Movies from worst to best. Obviously, the movie just came out, so I'm going to try my best not to spoil anything when talking about the new one. But just to be safe, if you haven't seen the movie, what are you doing? Go watch it. It's hilarious. You'll have a great time. So go watch the movie, have a good time in the theater, and come back here, watch this video. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the ranking. In last place by a pretty large margin is Scary Movie 5. This is, in my opinion, the least funny movie of the Scary Movie franchise. I think most of the other ones, even the non-Wayans Brothers ones, have at least like a few really funny bits in them, but this movie doesn't even have that. Like, it has like one bit that's like actually truly funny, and it's at the beginning of the movie. Right, the only bit that I like truly found to be like actually funny and that I actually like really remember from the movie is the one at the beginning where Snoop Dogg's walking through the woods with another guy, and they stumble upon a cabin in the woods, and then Snoop Dogg says that it reminds him about the movie, about a cabin in the woods. And the guy just starts naming off a bunch of movies that contain a cabin in the woods. And that's like the only bit that was truly funny to me. Like, I didn't find the rest of the movie to be very funny. And then also, none of the actors from the previous Scary Movies come back for this movie aside from Charlie Sheen. And if you can only get one actor to agree to come back and do your movie, maybe you shouldn't do the movie. So it's just a movie that never really has a reason to exist. And, none of the actors come back. They, recast everyone pretty much. And I just never found it to be all that funny. So it is very easily in last place. Next up on the list is Scary Movie 4. I think that the non-Wayans Brothers scary movies kind of just got progressively worse as they went along. And I think that the PG-13 rating of all of the non-Wayans Brothers movies really hurt the films because they're not able to do as much. They can't make as fun of as many things. They can't say certain things. They can't do certain things because of the PG-13 rating. So they take the general idea of what the Wayans Brothers created with the first two scary movies and then have to tone it down and sort of play it to the lowest common denominator with the PG-13 rating. So you take out most of like the funniest bits from the Wayans Brothers films and replace them with childish like fart jokes and stuff. And I just don't think it really works with any of the three scary movies that the Wayans Brothers didn't make. I do think this one is definitely funnier than Scary Movie 5. It had a lot more jokes that landed than 5 did. And it obviously has another great opening for a scary movie. That is something that pretty much all of them managed to do, is they managed to have a really great opening. This one is definitely one of the best openings in the franchise as far as opening scenes go, where it takes Dr. Phil and Shaq, two people that are very easy to make fun of. They have one very specific thing you can make fun of for each of them, and they make fun of it, and it works really well. It's a very recurring joke that Shaq can't make a free throw to save his life. And they take the joke to another level by having him literally not be able to make a free throw to save his life. And then, Dr. Phil saying, I'm not even a psychiatrist, I'm an electrician, is like another thing that is fairly widely known. and is a big joke, and they did it and it worked, and I thought the opening was probably one of the best in the franchise. And the movie's not bad. I think the focusing on Saw as like the main horror spoof that they did was a decent idea, and the Saw puppets got a lot of good moments that were funny and got a lot of laughs out of me. But I don't think it's as funny as all of the other films in the franchise that are on the list. Just barely coming in fourth place is Scary Movie 3. I think that this film and the next two on the list are relatively interchangeable, and on a different day, this movie would probably move up one or two spots. Um, but today I have it here, and I think it's slightly worse than the other two, and I think that it's mainly because of the PG-13 rating. Right, a PG-13 rating never works with this franchise. None of the non-Wayans Brothers movies are as good as the three that the Wayans Brothers made. I don't think because of the PG-13 rating. Right, with this one, it manages to still be fairly funny because the Wayans Brothers did write the original draft of the script, but then the studio took their script, fired them, and then changed it into a PG-13 movie, which just doesn't work for this kind of film. It's a horror spoof comedy. If the thing that you're making fun of and the thing that you're parodying is R-rated, then your parody of it should also be R-rated. Most horror movies are R-rated, so a horror comedy should be an R-rated movie, which is why I think the three that the Wayans Brothers didn't make kind of suffer, because the PG-13 rating makes it where they can't do as much with the horror spoofing, and they can't make as many jokes, they can't go as far, and because of that, they're a little bit lacking in some of the comedy, and it becomes a little bit less funny, and it goes and leans into more of the bathroom humor than more of the jokes that actually landed and that were actually funny in the other films that the Wayans Brothers made. So, on a different day, this may be a little bit higher, but at the moment, I think that it belongs in fourth place. In third place is the original Scary Movie. Now, this film is, fairly interchangeable with Scary Movie 3 and the next film on the list. But I think that this one is just barely below the next one on the list, because I think the jokes in the next one land a little bit more often than this. But this was a great first installment to the franchise, and it laid the groundwork that the other films would follow. Most of them didn't follow it very successfully, but it laid the groundwork, and it took the tropes of the slasher genre and flipped them on its head, and managed to create a movie that has what you expect to be a very obvious whodunit, where you expect it to follow exactly the same plot as the first Scream movie, and expect the killers to be the same as they were in that, but then they do a bait and switch and reveal that it was actually not what you expected, and actually the killer was the Dewey counterpart, and that it was the mentally disabled cop was actually Ghostface, and manages to create the only Ghostface to ever successfully get away with it, which is honestly just kind of crazy that the Scary Movie franchise has the only Ghostface that actually got away with it. And I think this movie is very good. It's very rewatchable. It has a couple of jokes that are a little outdated. Um, Specifically the West thing with Ghostface on the phone, because it was parodying the Budweiser commercial from that time period. But the movie has kind of managed to make that sort of timeless and sort of made that thing more popular than the Budweiser commercial ever did. And it's made it where that is now sort of synonymous with the Scary Movie franchise, so much that they bring the bit back in the new one that just came out. Um, so I enjoy the movie quite a bit. I laughed a lot, but I think that the other two on the list are better than it. The runner up is Scary Movie 2. With this movie, I prefer it over the first one, just a little. I think that's mainly because of the little hand guy. Pretty much every scene he was in, I laughed at, because he just it is just great for comedy. Because I mean, just like the little hand is absolutely hilarious, and the way they use him just works so well. Um, and then obviously the Wayne's brothers still being in this one makes it, um, instantly gives it like a bit of an edge, because Marlon Wayans as Shorty is always hilarious. Like every one of the movies he's in, he's always a standout, because he does such a great job as Shorty, and it's just very, very funny. Um, and I think that the while the plot of this one doesn't do as much of like something new as the original Scary Movie did, where there's not as big of like a bait and switch, I think that more of the jokes in this movie landed, and with a comedy that's more important than how good the plot is, because especially with a movie like this, the plot doesn't really matter. It's more about how many jokes land, how often you laugh. And I found this one to be just a little bit more funny than the original. So, just simply because of that, this one is in second place. Coming easily in first place is the most recent one, Scary Movie 6. I saw this movie last night at its premiere. I had a really great time. The version I saw had like 5 extra minutes of like cut jokes that aren't in the final cut that most people are going to be seeing. Um, and you know that does influence it a little, but I also think this one was by far the funniest film in the franchise. Like I laughed so much in the like while watching the movie in the theater. Like, I had so many jokes that landed, and I mean I was really surprised by how up to date their parodies and spoofs were. Like they like mentioned the Oscars a couple of times. They even like did some stuff from Scream 7, which came out in February, 4 months before this movie released. So the fact that they managed to like pull stuff from a movie that came out 4 months before this movie was released is honestly crazy to me. Um, and it is kind of similar to the first one, with the fact that it follows the plot of Scream movies very closely, but it also has a similar bait and switch um, to the first Scary Movie, and I think that this reveal is honestly maybe even better than the other one, because they managed to use the reveal as a way of making fun of the really terrible reveal in Scream 7, but they make it work well for the franchise. And they also break the fourth wall quite a bit in the movie. Like, they don't even really acknowledge the fact that there are walls because they just break the fourth wall so often. And it works really well with the movie. Um, there was a lot of really great jokes in here, a lot of great spoofs. And obviously, the final reveal at the end was really, really good. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to spoil it for anyone that may not have seen the movie yet, but is really good. It's a nice way to make fun of the Scream 7 ending while also doing the Scream 7 like final reveal better than Scream 7 did it. Um, and I think that really just as a whole, it's better than the other movies on like every level. It's funnier, it has a better plot, more of the jokes landed, it has the best characters out of it. And I thought one standout was the person that got to play Anna Faris's daughter. Like, she looks and acts exactly like Anna Faris does in the Scary movies. Like, that was perfect casting. I don't know how they found her, but she did an incredible job. Um, but yeah, this is the funniest, has the best plot. The final reveal was great. I thought everything that it made fun of was very good. And, you know, I think this is the movie that the world needs right now. A movie to cancel culture, make fun of everything and everyone. No one safe from it. And I think this is the way that comedy should be. I'm glad that we're finally returning back to comedies that push boundaries and, you know, just kind of go for it and do everything they can to, you know, push the boundaries and push the limits and, you know, do things that, you know, might offend some. But with comedy, I think you should target everyone, offend everyone, make everyone offended. Because if everyone's offended, then no one's offended. And that's what comedy should be. So I love this movie. It's great. Go out, watch it. You'll have a great time. It's a hilarious film. Very funny. And yeah, I can't wait to see what the Wayans brothers do next. I'm looking forward to it. This movie was great. I can't wait for, you know, whatever their next movie is. Obviously, nothing is more subjective than comedy, so please feel free to share your ranking of the scary movies down below in the comments. And also, you know, if you enjoy the video, please leave a like. It really helps me out. Also, subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, I'm sure you'll find something else there that you'll enjoy as well. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.